Another good job by guys continuing to compete to the end. It was good to be able to see a lot of our younger players make plays. I was really pleased with the defense in the first half, with the exception of that two-play sequence, which, it does count. It did happen, but overall, I was really pleased with those guys. I thought they continued to battle all the way through the game. It's good to see Bryce and John both get scoring drives and get some work. But overall, a lot of good things to be able to look at. But most importantly, proud of the way these guys competed to the end. And, they had a lot of really good players that were playing early on in this game. And I thought our guys hung tough and stayed the course. Offensively, there was enough big plays, just had too many early down negatives that were too difficult to be able to overcome. But there's a lot of good things to be able to take from this game. And hats off to Coach Smith and his group.
Do you have an update on Logan?
I don't. I don't have an update on him right now.
The broadcast said it was a right knee. Are you able to at least say what?
It is, yeah. It looked like he was in a right knee brace when I saw him at the end. So it didn't look like it was good, though.
Sean McVay and Ragas, especially in the fourth quarter, they play very well. How much do you like the way they play, and if there's anything they could improve?
I thought they did a good job, Claudia. They were playing a lot of tougher, heavy rundown fronts, but, we were able to get some good, positive yards, be able to churn out some tough yards, sustain a drive. I think it was a 15-play scoring drive where we ended up taking the lead, but to be able to punch that in on 2nd and 7, especially after a penalty, which, that's really on me, not getting that time out there. But I was pleased with Trey and some of the other backs did a good job running hard, Claudia.
Evaluate how John played, and was your decision to play him simply get him game reps, or is there a competition?
I think you're always evaluating, Gary. I was pleased with John. I thought he did what he could based on some of the circumstances and surrounding parts. Even some of the incompletions where we're running a keeper, they have it defended well, kind of string it out and just being able to throw the ball away. I thought he hit some big plays, especially off the play action. Started off with a good completion to Jacob Harris, at the very beginning of the game. But there were some tough things where the pocket collapsed pretty quickly on him. So overall, I felt like he had good command, made good decisions, saw the coverages the right way. And then there were some instances where we could help him out a little bit more around him. But I thought both he and Bryce did a nice job. And for Bryce to be able to kind of lead that scoring drive and make some of those plays, he just kind of have a playmaker. Good things happen, and he instills that belief with guys around him. So it's definitely something that we're continuing to evaluate.
You have a situation like that where, like you said, the circumstances and then the pockets moving as quickly as it is?
Yep.
How do you get a fair evaluation of a quarterback in that situation?
I think the film, when you really go back and you kind of look at it and you really break down each play as its own separate entity. And, you have to take into account, all right, people playing around you, people that you're playing against. And so there's a lot of layers to it, Jordan. But the film, when you really kind of be able to just take a step back, is always the best way to get a clear, clean evaluation. But overall, I was pleased with the decision-making of both those guys, the overall operation, and, making good decisions within the framework of each play.
Sean, what are your thoughts on McCutcheon now that you're seeing him again in live action?
Yeah, Maria, it's good to see him show up again. He's a guy that just kind of makes plays. He's one of those guys that's a gamer. And, I don't know if he had a chance to get out of bounds on that last play. It was a great catch. And if you're going to be able to put your foot in the ground and get back vertical, you better score because that's going to be the last play of the game, especially if we don't get out of bounds. But I was pleased with the amount of plays that he made again. It was good to see, Maria.
Sean, after your second preseason game, you like where you are at this point? Like, we see the guys out there with just another preseason to go.
Yeah, I think it's been good work. Obviously you guys know the approach that we take. A lot of the guys that, we're going to see being instrumental parts of what we're doing on September 8th have not played. And so there's a premium on those practice opportunities. Really looking forward to getting to Cincinnati next week on Wednesday and Thursday. But I think we are developing the total roster right now. You're getting a chance to really get a lot of guys and accumulate some snaps that I think will serve them well, whether it's early in the year or at some point later on, like we saw last year. And so I don't know that you ever say you're pleased. We've got a lot of work to do, but I'm encouraged that we're taking steps in the right direction.
Jay, can you talk about the preseason games? Are they more of a marker as far as evaluating the talent in your cut down?
Yeah, they are. And also, Dennis, I would say that they are an opportunity for us to be able to have guys come to life that maybe haven't gotten opportunities even in some of these practice settings. You always saw some flashes from a Lance McCutcheon. But he's continued to really shine in both of these games. And so even Bryce, I thought, has done a good job in both of these games. Even, some of these running backs they're easier evaluations when you're playing tackle football. I like the way that our young DBs continue to play. I thought Jacoby Durant, again, had another strong performance. Seemed like some of our guys up front were really showing up. I feel Jake Hummel in these games as well. And so overall I was encouraged. And then I was really pleased with just our overall special teams guys. You could really see it was a good, clean operation with Matt, with Riley, and with Orzic with some of the field goals. And those are good, positive things. But we're going to keep taking steps in the right direction.
Seems like you have a couple of guys. Go ahead, Tim.
Following up on that, on what he was saying about the preseason, is this time of year or preseason games enjoyable for you? Or is it strictly a grinding and working through evaluation?
Yeah, no, not at all. It's enjoyable. I think the most important thing, Timothy, is that you really want to be able to look at it for what it is, and it's an opportunity for a lot of guys to get chances to really shine, whether that means it's with us, on our practice squad, or even with another team. And so you want to make this a positive experience. There's not the level of stress that typically accompanies a regular season game, but these are important games to a lot of guys, and you definitely don't want to minimize that, especially with the approach that we take. But I do think when you look at the 3 games that will accumulate, you'll see guys get better because of the amount of snaps that they're able to play. I expect to see improvement from week 1 to week 2, and then that same exact thing as we look at what these guys do with Cincinnati next week. And so looking forward to that. But it is a really important part of our evaluation process, especially with a lot of these younger players that we haven't really got a chance to see, knowing that we do have a roster that has a lot of spots where you feel good about the continuity that exists, but we're always competing, always trying to find our best 53 and ultimately the 48 that'll be active on game day.
That said, you do have a couple of spots that seem to be up for competition on the reserve offensive line, some of those guys who are playing tonight. Are you seeing enough from those guys as a whole right now? Do you want more competition?
I think so. I mean, I think, hopefully Logan will be okay. But I thought, last week in particular, I thought Tremaine Ankrum really stood out. And A.J. Jackson, I think those guys have really shown that they're capable players. Bobby Evans is a guy that's played a lot of football. And so it is important to be able to get those evals, Jordan, especially against different defensive line structures than what we've been accustomed to going against with our own defense for all of training camp. It'll be excellent to be able to get that evaluation that much more, in depth as it relates to being able to evaluate them against the Bengals. So all of those are very valuable tools for us. But I feel really good about where we're at with those top tier guys. And then I think those 2 in particular have really stood out amongst the guys that maybe aren't in that, those top 5 right now. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.